On the night of December 24, 1945, the residents of Sodder's Peak, a small island off the coast of West Virginia, vanished into thin air. The next morning, the island was found abandoned, with no signs of struggle or foul play, but one eerie clue, a cryptic note that read, "The devil is here." Sodder's Peak was a small, isolated island, home to about 50 residents, mostly coal miners and their families. The island had a reputation for being a tight-knit community, where everyone knew each other's names and faces. But on that fateful night, something went terribly wrong. The last person to see the residents alive was a local fisherman, who reported seeing the island's lights flickering on and off around 10 p.m. The next morning, authorities launched an investigation into the disappearance, led by Detective James Morris. They found no signs of forced entry or exit, no struggle, and no bodies. The only clue was the cryptic note, which seemed to point to a supernatural explanation. As the investigation continued, detectives began to suspect that the disappearance might be linked to a long-standing feud between the island's residents and a rival mining company. The note, written in red ink, was found on the kitchen table of the island's largest house. It read, "The devil is here, and he will take us all." The handwriting was unfamiliar, and the language was unlike anything the residents had ever used before. As detectives analyzed the note, they discovered that the ink was not from any known brand, and the paper was a rare type, only found in a few locations around the world. But what did it mean, and who could have written it? As the investigation continued, theories began to emerge. Some believed that the residents had been abducted by aliens, while others thought that the rival mining company was behind the disappearance. But one theory stood out, that the island was cursed. According to local legend, the island had a dark history of mysterious events and unexplained occurrences. Could it be that the residents had stumbled upon something sinister, and paid the ultimate price? But just as detectives thought they were getting close to the truth, they received a chilling phone call from an unknown number. The caller claimed to be a former resident of the island, and warned detectives to drop the investigation. The caller's voice was distorted, and the line was filled with static, but the message was clear: "You're getting close to the truth, but you'll never find it." The call was traced to a payphone in a nearby town, but when detectives arrived, they found no one. It was as if the caller had vanished into thin air, just like the residents of Sodder's Peak. But what did the caller mean, and what truth were they hiding? As detectives dug deeper, they uncovered a dark history of mysterious events and unexplained occurrences on the island. There were reports of ghostly apparitions, strange noises, and unexplained lights. The island had a reputation for being one of the most haunted places in the country. But could it be that the residents had stumbled upon something even more sinister? Something that had been hidden on the island for decades, waiting to strike. And then, detectives discovered a hidden journal belonging to one of the residents, which revealed a shocking truth. The journal belonged to a young girl named Sarah, who had lived on the island with her family. The entries were cryptic, but they seemed to point to a dark conspiracy involving the island's residents and a mysterious organization. The final entry was dated December 24, 1945, the night of the disappearance. It read, "We've been warned, but it's too late. The devil is coming for us." But what did Sarah mean, and who was behind the conspiracy? And then, detectives received a package in the mail, containing a single photograph. The photograph showed the residents of Sodder's Peak, standing together in front of the island's largest house. But there was something strange about the photo. The faces were blurred, and the bodies seemed to be shifting. It was as if the photograph had been taken in a different dimension, or a different time. The photograph was dated December 25, 1945, the day after the disappearance. But how was it possible, and what did it mean? And then, detectives realized that the photograph was not just a photograph, but a warning that the devil was still out there, watching and waiting. The disappearance of Sodder's Peak remains one of the greatest mysteries of all time. The investigation was closed, but the truth was never found. The island was abandoned, and the residents were never seen again. But the photograph remains, a haunting reminder of the terror that occurred on that fateful night. And as we look at the photograph, we can't help but wonder, what really happened on Sodder's Peak, and what lies beyond the veil of reality? The truth is out there, but it's hidden, waiting to be uncovered.